they could happen to you if you don't stay straight ahead. When I was a kid, I never thought what I did would take me out of my head. And all I went through will have meaning if you can try to be straight ahead.
The reason why I'm doing this video is to help the young people, high school students and older people, to stay away from drugs. Anyway, I said to my chum said to me, let's try that stuff. So we tried it. and then it just started from there, went on, and I tried acid, which I thought was fun at first there, but later on in life, I graduated from high school in 1974. I went to work at the mill. I was always dealing in drugs, and I was trying to make a fast buck is what I was trying to do, which never really works. And I got my first division as a pipe fitter, and then I got laid off there. So I had a car, and I was dealing drugs. The judge looked down at us and said 4 months in jail. And we went to jail in Rishabak, New Brunswick. When I got out, it was a pretty bad feeling. People look at you different and everything, and you know, he's an ex-con and that. But I worked here and there, and of course I started selling it again, and yeah, but my nerves were bad. Like always watching over my shoulder and that. And I was drinking a lot because I was under pressure, and I was smoking the grass and any other thing that came along there, acid, and there was a lot of mescaline around there then. And I was a very angry young man because of these things. We had a little dog named Patches, poor little bugger. I punched him in the head so many times you wouldn't believe. And I still pray for him today. But poor little bugger, I tortured him. I punched him in the head and punched him in the head. Holy jeez, I feel so bad. In 1981, she threw me out, and then I went home to stay with my parents, and I had this job. It was hauling the Telegraph Journal. I used to have to get up at 3:30 in the morning, drive to Newcastle, pick up the papers there, drive to Bathurst, drop off a bunch of papers here, and then drive to Campbellton and Atholville and deliver to all the stores and pharmacies and stuff. Anyway, I wasn't sleeping or eating properly, because you know when you're young on Friday night, it was a 6-day-a-week job. Friday night you like to go out and have a good time, and I get really bombed, and I land in bed at 2 o'clock and have to get up at 3:30 to go down to Newcastle. My mother said to me, she said, holy fig, Radly, you think you should go down there alone, you know? But I was so hard-headed, I wouldn't let my father drive the truck down for me. I was so hard-headed, I had to drive it down myself. He pulled me out of the ditch once, and he said, Radly, please let me go with you. I said, no, I'm going to make her alone, Dad. I'm going to make her alone. he could go to bed at 9 o'clock and get up at 3:30, you know, there'd be no problem. But for me, it got really hard, and I wasn't eating properly, and all of a sudden, when I was on the highway so much, I started thinking straight ahead all the time. Like I wanted to get ahead, like ahead. I didn't think I was acting funny, but everybody else said, you're not, you should go see somebody, Radly, you know? You're not thinking right. Like I was thinking straight ahead and never looked back, you know? Somebody had taken the keys away from me. And I was trying to jumpstart her in the morning. And the cops came along. It was down Karen Point. And I said, you can't do a damn thing to me. I think straight ahead, you know? I said, there's nothing you can do to me. I'm not doing anything illegal or anything like that. They said, Radly, could you get in the back seat of the car? I never resisted, but I didn't know the trip I was going on. They brought me to the hospital, and well, I didn't know what was going on, to tell you the truth. And the sheriff came in, and he said, Radly, you gotta come with us. And brought me to Campbellton Mental Institution. Anyway, I went in there and, holy freak. I just went up to the head nurse. I knew she was the head one because I could see these things. And I just shook her hand and I said, my name is Radly and I think straight ahead. And she said, well, Radly, we're going to give you some needles. We're going to put you in a room and you're going to have a sleep and you'll be alright when you get up. I said, please don't lock the door. She said, okay, we won't lock the door on you. We won't lock the door. They must give me about 2 needles there. But then, I had a great sleep and I woke up. And the door wasn't locked. I opened the door really slow. And then there was an orderly there waiting for me. I just said to him, I said, is my name Radly? He said, yes it is. And I started from there all over again, like to come back, you know, to life. Finally, I wanted to get out, and 2 weeks later, we're sitting around, like we used to have a discussion circle every morning. I would spell a lot of things like G for gin, and I was drinking a lot of gin, and I was I was smoking a lot of grass because I had all kinds of that. And I don't know if I was on acid then or not, but I felt that I wanted the need to go ahead, straight ahead, like to make progress, you know, really be somebody and get somewhere, you know, straight ahead, like, you know, no turning back or wasting time in the past or anything like that. I was totally insane. That's why when the police stopped, I started talking to them, and they knew I wasn't making no sense at all. You know, you can't put me in jail, and I think straight ahead, and you know, I completely lost my mind. That's what happened because of the drugs. Yeah. When I got out of that room there, I had to ask him what my name was. I wasn't sure I was Radly because, you know, I never had that sort of feeling before. Just like I started over again. Like when I came out, I had to start with my name. You know, like the people give you a name, your parents give you a name when you're born there. Well, that's what I thought. I was just born again, you know. Holy jeez, just like, you know, is my name Radly? And holy freak, just certain awesome feeling of like unsureness, you know, really unsure of myself. But then I kind of got my courage back, a little bit, and we started smoking, and didn't it come back the same thing again? I think straight ahead again. Same thing happened again. I started selling the grass, and I sold all the grass, and I was drinking quite a bit and smoking a lot, but I wasn't. I was taking mescaline sometimes, but I wasn't taking no acid. But when all the hash and grass had died out there, like I sold it all, and I couldn't get any more from the usual guy I was selling, but they sold me 100 hits of acid. So I said, okay, I'll take the acid. Maybe I can sell that. So anyway, I go back to the apartment, my apartment, and I started snorting it, eating it first. I took one, then I took two. I was drinking wine, and first thing I had it on a plate, and I was crushing it up, the acid, and snorting it. I figure I had about 14 hits in me, and I had a squabble with my brother that morning, and he had called the cops on me, but I got away from them. I made a run to the woods, and I got home. I got back to the apartment in town without getting caught, and I never thought about that. But anyway, the police were still looking for me, see, from that morning, because my brother had pressed charges on me. So anyway, this is where the story gets hard for me, because jeez. Well, anyway, in came the police into my apartment after I had about 15 hits of acid in me, and they took me. They said, we got a charge against you. We're taking you down to the jail. I said, okay. I never resisted or anything, and I went down, and they put me in jail, and just in the holding tank, like, you know. I was waiting to go to court, and I started whooping and yelling after a while there. I couldn't see outside. And well, it was very hot in there, and I was whooping and yelling, give me a cigarette, give me a glass of water, and nobody came, and I couldn't see outside. If I climbed underneath the bunk, it'd be cooler, you know. So I took the rubber mattress and I shoved it under that bunk, and I got under there, and oh jeez, it was just as hot. And this all happened in a split second. I got up, I said, holy jeez. I figured the earth was on fire around me, and I was just in the middle of the earth in hell, and this all happened in a split second. You couldn't believe how fast this happened. I believed I was right in the middle of the earth in hell, and the whole world was on fire around me, and I was all alone. And then, for some crazy reason, I thought I had too much, like all my fingers and my toes and legs and arms and eyes and everything. So what I did, I did this in a split second, like I'm telling you there. I shoved my finger in my right hand, I shoved my finger in behind my right eye, and I pulled my right eye out. It came to the end of that cord there, and I pulled it off, and I threw it outside the cell. That's when they all came running in. And it was so powerful that I had to lay back on the coach there. The firemen came in, and the police and everything, and they're all in a rush. I said, there's no rush now. My eye's gone. And I remember the policeman picking up my eye, and they rushed me up to the hospital, and well, at first they brought me into the nurse's station, I was whooping and yelling as usual. Give me some food, I'm hungry, and they brought me a dinner and everything. I thought that was fine, and I'm not in any pain. But I said to that nurse, I said, "Do you think you can put my eye back in?" She said no. And then I see how twisted I was. I figured she could put the eye back in. So anyway, I ate my dinner. Then the policeman brought me up to the mental ward, and I was standing at the counter, and I looked in that room where they were going to put me, and I seen the leather straps for your hands and the leather straps for your legs. I just said, oh no, I can't go in there. I just said to the policeman there, please shoot me right now. Just friggin' shoot me. I don't want to go in there. Shoot me if you can. Please kill me. He said, I can't do that, Radly. And he said, just go with them. And I said, okay. So I went with the nurse, and they tied me down. I never put up any resistance. They tied my hands and my feet with leather straps and closed the door. And I was in there, oh jeez, for about a day there. And this nurse used to come in and check on me, and I used to call her the devil. I thought she was a devil. And finally, the next day, they took the leather straps off, and they put a patch over my eye, and they gave me a room, just an ordinary room there. After that, I had to go back to court. A policeman, he said, he told me his name, and he said, remember me? Always remember me. I'm the guy with the crooked hat. I was all set to get in the back seat of the police car, as usual. But anyway, he said, no, sit up in the front with me. And so I sat with him, and he drove me home, and I took my duffel bag and stuff, and I went home. He said, don't forget me. I'm the man with the crooked hat, you know. Seems to be I thought he was the nicest one on the police force. I lost my eye, but it never really affected me. I could see out of one eye. I could see pretty good. I could see good, yeah. Oh yeah. I was still flipped out, and I used to walk and run a lot, and walk and run, and wasn't feeding myself enough as usual. And I ran and walked up to Mark's, my brother's, where I don't know, it was awful close to Christmas though. And I wasn't hurting him or anything, but I just came in to see him, you know, see how he was and that. Then in come my mother and father, and they said, you gotta come on back home with us, Rad. I said, okay. So I went back home with them, and when I came in the door, I just looked at my father's face there, and it was just a face of disgust and hate, you know, just disgust there. I don't know what really happened then. I went in the bathroom, and I took my left hand, and I damaged my left eye. So then I was totally blind. I come out of the bathroom door, and him and John drove me up to the hospital just before Christmas. It's the last thing I remember. They they must have given me an awful pile of drugs, because I woke up in St. John Mental Institution, St. John, New Brunswick Mental Institution, with my hands tied, and I woke up and I was blind. I just said, oh my God, is this a nightmare, you know? This has got to be a nightmare. And that's where I figure I hit rock bottom there. Went right down to the lowest I could ever go. So I never felt so bad in all my life. They give me some false eyes, and they give me a drive to Campbellton. I was really shy then. So I went in D4, Ward D4 at Campbellton, the most very dangerous wards you can be in, because it's all murderers and killers and rapists and everything else. But I was in there for 8 months. I was at the bottom of the pecking order then, you know. They kind of picked on me there. My frustrations were high, and I turn the table over sometimes at dinner time and spill all the food, and then wrestle with them to the seclusion room. They had me in seclusion there for about a week, or, you know. I had some serious nightmares in there. I was keeping in quite close contact with my mother then, because I was starting to come around to normal, like, you know. And so anyway, one day he said, how would you like to go home for the weekend? I said, oh, that'd be great, you know. And Mom agreed, and I went down, and I spent the weekend with them at home with Dad and Mom and John. And then I went back, and they left me out in 7 days after. So I got back home, and I was blind, but soon enough we started drinking and smoking again, John and I, my brother, and we used to get in these fights. And the pressure, I was so shy I couldn't go out and sit in the backyard because of my blindness and what I did. I woke up one morning, and my father was on his way to work, I remember that. But I turned the radio on, and I started hallucinating with the radio. I hallucinated what the radio said. The radio said you have to, there were 7 angels coming down to see me, and I had to get rid of this finger. So I knew I had to get rid of that finger. I had to get rid of that finger. I went down the basement. I tried to break it off with a pipe. I put it inside the pipe, and I tried to break the finger off, but I couldn't break it off. So I went in the kitchen, and I got a dull butcher knife. The sharpest one there, but it was dull. And I went into my room, and I shut the door. And I never felt so much pain in all my life. I knew I had to get rid of that finger, so I just started cutting at that finger there, and I never made a sound, because that's when Dad got up and went to the bathroom. I never made a sound. The pain was just unbearable, but I never made a sound, and I was cutting away on that finger, and I was hitting this one. As you can see, there's little lumps there, but I got halfway through the finger, and I said, I can't do this anymore. And I just took the finger, and I broke it off, and I ripped the skin off. I never felt so much pain in my whole life. I was holding the finger in this hand, and I just threw it. I threw the finger, and I just, you know, I never felt so much pain in all my life. And I guess, well, I couldn't see, but I guess there was blood everywhere. And my mother came in. She said, Radly, we're going to take you to the hospital. What did you do? I said, oh, I only cut my finger, Mom. It's all right. It's all right. I'll be all right. No, we're going to take you to the hospital, Radly. I said, well, okay. And she picked up the finger, I guess, and they had to do an operation on my finger to close it up because I cut it off so close. They said, you're very lucky you never lost your hand. And I still thank Jesus today for my hand, because I know he was with me all this time, and I figured Jesus saved my hand. And they let me out of the mental institution, and I went to stay at the Russell home. It's just like a home for people that don't have any place to go or anything. But I haven't gotten to the part where I got hooked on cocaine after that. So I was on cocaine, and that time I jumped off the second floor, and I just felt, well, at first I seen all birds chirping. That's all I could see in a white table, or a white something in front of me. And then I felt the grass. I said, oh my God, I'm still alive. That's when I quit drugs. I just was so happy that I was alive. Well, I felt so good that morning there. I had a girlfriend in there, and Mrs. Russell didn't know what was wrong with us there. But I had the giggles, you know. And when I landed, I must have landed on my feet because I had a sprained ankle. And I was just we were so psyched up that morning. We had the giggles, you know. And I started going back to church, going to church. I went to Sunday school, but I never went to church. I went to church with my grandmother. But I started to go to church again, and I had more, my belief got stronger and stronger in Jesus, and now I'm quite happy there. And it's I'm not happy that I'm blind or did all those things, but my message to the people that are watching this is just try not to let it sway into drugs and anything else, or I find a straight person that doesn't smoke or drink or take drugs is a really cool person, you know. That's what I find cool.
Things can happen, they could happen to you if you don't stay straight ahead. When I was a kid, I never thought what I did would take me out of my head. And all I went through will have meaning if you can try to be straight ahead. I have only one thing to pass along, and if just one kid doesn't do what I did, then I will feel that it meant something somehow.